Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm joined by another very special guest, Ali Nada, who is joining us from United States, but he belongs from Egypt. Ali is an AI lead, IBM watsonx expert, OpenShift for AI consultant, and one of the well-known IBM champion with extensive experience in deploying AI system at scale across retail and banking sector. His work bridges the gap between AI in theory and AI in real world production environment, especially under regulatory and operational constraint. So today in this episode, we will talk about AI at scale, misconception around Arabic AI, and how regulation influence AI system design. But before we get started, I would like to thank Ali for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. My name is Ali Nada. I have experience about 11 years in software development and IT projects in big companies like Vodafone, Rackspace, also Saudi channel, like telecom channel, like channels, and also I have also experience in banking. So I worked in different areas, as you might see. I worked in pharmaceutical. I worked in the banking sector, in communication and telecommunication. So this kind of diversity had created a mindset how giga projects or mega projects might be operated. For example, how a chatbot could be serving for one of the first projects which I worked with was in Vodafone, is to serve to create a digital virtual assistant. That was in 2008, 16 actually.
Okay.
Started there. Yeah. So, and to replace a customer service desk with a digital agent. So and create a chatbot accordingly. So this was, at the early days of AI, it was just only an NLP and just, just serving a chatbot. But it was very smart because it just integrated with thousands of applications within the enterprise. So it was a giga project to make automation at scale using chatbots and using like the intelligent systems that we might have now today, and in something like NA10, the NA10. So
Mhm.
such systems were just when its mindset was already existing at the time. How could we just make such integral systems that would integrate with applications that we might have within our enterprise to save time, cost, and money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think with this introduction, everyone understand that yes, this session or this podcast will be a very insightful because there are so many things that we are going to discuss here about AI and the chatbot on which Ali worked on. But before Ali, we talked about your work. I just wanted to know you as person. I just want to to because mostly those who know you, they know you from LinkedIn or maybe through your accolades or as an IBM champion, but we just wanted to know you as a person as well. So how would you introduce yourself beyond those LinkedIn titles and achievements?
I'm a proud Egyptian. I'm like I belong to my like I love my country. I also I like traveling. I like just enjoying my time, just discovering new places. I went to different places actually.
Okay.
I had a tour of my own. So I like to spend actually most of my time actually at the beaches, uh, in the sun, like so that's like really I am, and I enjoy the company and helping people in tech, and even like I always have the pleasure, to be a part of a team. I'm a team player, so I always enjoy this part of, contributing and having it back, like just to be a person who just, like giving to the community, and just
Mhm.
to be a person who like as a influencer at the level, at least like a small scale, or let's say in his own circles. So I like to do that in my personal life. And yeah, the tech is my thing. I always follow the tech. I always like the new stuff. So it's something that I was raised and born on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now moving ahead, we will talk about your experience as a TOT scholar at EPITA. So how did your
Yeah.
overall experience with as a TOT scholar at EPITA, and how it has impacted your thinking about engineering and problem solving today?
Okay. So I was like, this was a scholarship by the Egyptian government,
Okay.
was given to like a very few like people in the field of AI and machine learning, and also it was like something exclusive. Like I think there was about 100,000, like applicant. That's like a huge numbers, applied for this scholarship, and they selected a few who are like really in the field. So EPTA had helped me a lot actually in building and understanding how could you just build a full AI pipeline from A to Z, starting from the data, and how could you manage the data and the versions of the data of the training data that you might have, and then create like a pipeline for the training and creating the models till you have the model itself. So actually, one of the things that anyone like on like any data scientist or machine learning engineer would just think about, or any even PhD or masters, like everyone thinks that this model that you have,
Mhm.
you can push it and do whatever you want anywhere, and it would
Right.
work. Does Yeah, so it doesn't work like that,
Correct.
actually, in real life. Organizations and enterprises never have the ability to manage, like a model, like whatever you have, like any machine learning would just have the model and just let's ship it, to software. Software engineers don't understand what is this model, how could be handled, what kind of results it's expected, how to scale it up. So there is always like, this can like at the time, at least before the LLMs, there
Hmm.
was a discontinue in this. So in EPTA, we learned how to create like machine learning pipelines, how to use like AWS SageMaker, also how to work with Anaconda locally, and how to scale it up at the level, at like as an enterprise organization. So we have actually like two things that you might like if you want to scale up your like models or your AI systems. Either you use like a norm frameworks, like
Hmm.
AWS SageMaker, for example, or IBM Cloud Pak for Data, for example, Data
Yes.
IQ. There is a lot of frameworks which exist, which is enterprise grade, or you create your own, like using something like MLF flow, and just integrate open sourcely with your systems that you already like buy from other, like having like a universal connector, something like this, and just
Hmm.
connect those systems together to be able to work independently from it.
Okay.
So that's the mentalities with which we, and the mindsets that we learned at EPTA, to be, dynamic in deployment and the scale deployment. So enterprises would have the flexibility to save time, cost, and to be efficiently now and the future for futuristic
Mm.
advancement that occur. And this is one of the things that any organization shouldn't be stuck with one platform or any platform and just, just okay, we will go for it till till we have the end. So even if they discovered a new platform which is much more cheaper or efficient,
Mm-hmm.
they will have a huge problem just to discontinue or just decommission it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Ali, one question on the behalf of all those who belong from Egypt, and they also wanted to grab this kind of scholarship, and they also wanted to contribute in the this domain. So, what is the exact criteria? Like, do we have any certain set of criteria, or maybe any particular portal there? They will find out all the details regarding this scholarship, or when and how they can apply.
Yeah, so you can always apply through like one of the the sponsorships which you can get, or let's say those who like provide those kind of sponsorship scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the Information Technology Institute at Egypt. So it's
Okay.
well known at the time. So you can just go there, check for scholarships which is available, apply there, and it just helped me in my career. So at the beginning of my career, I was like totally embedded systems, and I got also scholarship from there, like
Right.
at the beginning. And made that like a huge shift from embedded systems to artificial intelligence. And it helped actually this like institute, I would just be honest, it helped me a lot in changing my mindset and how I could be adaptive and interactive with what kind of information that I receive and how could I just apply it on the scale. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think those who are from the Egypt, and if they wanted to follow the similar kind of path which Ali followed, so you can simply go and check out this website. And even if there is any other thing where you need help, so you can reach out to Ali or me directly, and we will try our best to help you to get this kind of opportunity, and so that you can also join in the mission of knowledge sharing. Okay, so moving ahead, Ali, we will talk about your AI initiative because you have led AI initiative that reached thousands of real users. So, what do you think? Like, what's the biggest difference between the AI in theory versus deploying it at the scale level?
So in theory that whenever you will have this model or NLP, you will just, push it and publish it to production without
Mhm.
any restrictions and without, knowing what's lying beneath. One of the things that enterprises make a fault or huge fault in, which whenever they see a product or let's say a prototype
Yeah.
or let's say a POC, you will just, buy it in and think, okay, this could be scalable. This could be, like be deployed on a huge scale without knowing the underneath like perspectives that you should consider. One of
Mhm.
the things, for example, when you use Clapback for data, for example, and use something like Auto AI or Data IQ, like also they have similar product like Auto AI.
Yeah.
You think you can just export it and just put it anywhere and it will work, or using any kind of like automated machine learning like pipeline would just trim the data, cleanse it, and just like train the model accordingly.
Mhm.
That doesn't work like that. And you have to have integrated the machine learning platform capability and as an infrastructure within your own enterprise infrastructure. It should be in the vision in the first place. Because one of the things, so like whenever any machine learning or let's say a data science team try to integrate their model, for
Mhm.
example, for a fraud system, they see themselves they cannot scale their platform. It needed to be integrated with like with the enterprise architecture, general architecture,
Yeah.
and this is not happening in a lot of places. I won't say anywhere like everywhere, but in a lot of places that I worked in, it's not integrated. So we should be central, like we should think about the framework and the platforms that you are working on, especially in data science, to be core part as the in like as a core part as in the like enterprise architecture, to be central as a provider. not
Provided. Yeah.
only to be provided, as just, like another API or a service, which would be alone. This is very dangerous, actually.
Yes.
Why? It is just discontinue the data science and this kind of usage that you will use,
Mm-hmm.
like for such use cases that you might have within the full enterprise, applications. No one can just use it, because it's not centered. It's not part of, let's say, like the API gateway, or ESB, you know, so enterprise service pass. So it's totally discontinued. It should be a part and a core part in it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think now audience have the right idea about the actual difference between building the AI in theoretical manner and also actually deploying it at the scale level. So,
Yeah.
with this insight, let's move for the next topic, and we are going to talk about Arabic AI because you have worked on it, Arabic AI chatbot in retail. So, from your experience, Ali, what were the biggest misconceptions stakeholder had about the Arabic AI when they are working with this chatbot?
So when you create an LLB, like chatbot
Mm-hmm.
based on NLP, you should consider the training data very carefully, and you
Mm-hmm.
should like consider also the dialects and the way the people like talk, and interact with the chatbot accordingly. So if you created, let's say, a chatbot in a multilingual country,
Okay.
it should consider all the cultures, all the dialects, and try to make the best, of just, creating an utterances which would just, like suitable and sufficient and diverse according to this, let's say, region or country.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like even in Egypt, we have multiple dialects, like people just can talk in.
Yeah.
And so you have to consider all of this. One of the like misconceptions that it's done, we can just, grab any, corpus data,
Mm-hmm.
from like, let's say that we have classified and just push it in the NLP and that's would work. No, you have to do a data engineering for
Yeah.
those utterances to be suitable for all the dialects, to put a sufficient according, to the platforms that you're using. If you're going to be agnostic, for example, you might need the thousands, of utterances for Rasa, for example. If you are using something, like Watson Assistant or Watson Orchestrate, Watson, like IBM products mainly, it would be, so you will just use maybe like 20 to 25 utterance or something, for example, for training data for a certain intent. You have to design the conversation well.
Okay.
So is your conversation is led by the chatbot, or it's freely, like just, like multiple turns between the user and the customer, between chatbot and the customer.
Right.
So one of the things which helped me a lot is to design it using like BPMs, business process management, networks, you know. So this is like a tool which you can use to design whatever conversation and flow, business flow. Okay, so the business would understand what is the expected output, and you can design it, whatever system. It always helps. Whatever systems that you will have, you can always do it in BBM. It's very simple. You can show it to the people. Everyone will understand what kind of information, or let's say the flow of conversation expected to deliver, like international quality,
Yes. Right.
like great artifacts. This is always help. I never had a doubt that something like BBM ends, it would just work for everyone. That's how I work, like in the couple, let's say, a couple of years, with international customers, freelance everywhere. Just first have a business flow. This business flow could be well described. This artifact is well describing the full conversation and full, turns between the customer and the chatbot, and accordingly,
Yes.
like just deploy within whatever platforms that you have.
Correct. And regarding the reasons you mentioned about one thing, that is language, right? Because
Yeah.
there is a language different. There are some reasons where multiple languages are spoken. So, other than language, what all other challenges, or maybe what are the hardest part of scaling AI are there in terms of language reasons and culture? Because you have developed and deployed the AI SaaS services um, globally, right? So any other
Yeah.
thing you witnessed or you encountered other than language that becomes a challenge?
So first of all, everything is like a series at the beginning, right?
Yes.
So building an AI system, whatever, regression, classification, whatever you have,
Mm-hmm.
even, normal use cases, all of them will require the first iteration pilot,
Okay.
which means like putting it in the air. Let's see what we will grab and just adapt accordingly. The first iteration, it will be the always biggest failure. No one should expect the first iteration, especially in classical machine learning. It will
Yes.
always fail. Okay. Don't expect too much. If you have good results, that's good. That's very fine. Don't just make the mistake of overfitting,
Hmm.
just making
Right.
everything, looking in numbers, very to make your numbers very glancy, because it would just, anyone would just grab it and know what you have did. So just don't do that. So so you must have at least in any production system 3 to 4 iterations, and after each iteration should be a review between the business and the technical team to
Hmm.
review the result. There is always a discontinue in machine learning use cases between the business and the development team and data science team. This cause always like the data science team, okay, we delivered what's expected to the business. The business think sometimes that this is the results that they need, while
Yeah.
it's not, because their
Totally
analysis is
different.
because they are two different teams. So no one knows what the other had did,
Right.
especially in corporates. So
Correct.
it should be like a unified force which work together to analyze the results. And it should always involve the business and the technical and the data scientist, to make sure that the data that you have is accurate 100%. It's as expected. No one have any kind of deviation, between his expectations and what have been implemented.
Hmm.
This is a catastrophic. It always happen everywhere in any company. I don't want to mention that like a lot, like, but all companies have it, unfortunately.
Yes.
This
Okay.
kind of business involvement in the technical part is very important. They should contribute. Even if you, as a technical person, you don't like it, okay, that's fine. But trust me, like if you did this, you will give you're trying to work as hard as you can, right? So in such cases, you will need to have a business eye. You're a developer. Even
Yes.
if you are a data scientist or with data or even whatever, so you will just need someone which you will technically work for, right? So you have to to check what needs, are you implementing what he needs in the first place or not. Yeah.
I agree. And other than this regional and language or other these kind of barriers, one more thing that really matters is the financial regulation, especially the national financial regulation. And I think you are the right person to answer this question, because you have led the major banking chatbot overhaul under the national financial regulations. So, in your opinion, like how does this regulation change the way AI systems are designed? Because for sure, like you need to do some changes as per their regulation, and in order to make the match between the regulation and the requirement.
Yeah. So if you were in in a highly compliance system or highly compliance, let's say, organization, or up like it have like a huge, let's say, compliance mandatories from
Mhm.
some kind of external or even internal. So first of all, you have to make sure that your architecture is resilient to those compliances.
Okay.
So, for example, one of the things which we have faced, so it was discussed, like, okay, let's just like make a chatbot, or let's say make it like a system which would integrate with WhatsApp and Twitter at the beginning.
Hmm.
Okay, with a social,
Yes.
and in high regulation systems, you should have like a clearance, or let's say you should check out, like if this is possible in the first place or not. You should review the architecture and the artifacts of the compliance, let's say, organization before doing any of that. Don't do risks as a business, or let's say don't push like for non-compliant architecture. Push it forward and just continue in the project, and which should be rejected. So one of my experiences is like, we didn't like, there was like like an idea just to have an FAQ,
Mm-hmm.
just an FAQ,
Yeah.
like WhatsApp chatbot, to be introduced in Saudi Arabia. And after 3 years project, it was, like 3 years. Just think about it. So
Mm.
just think about the effort doing everything, like everything that you have can. It was rejected by the central bank, just like that.
Correct.
So it just wasted the millions of, of
Mm.
millions of like reals at that time. So
Also the
you
time.
should think about it. Yeah, yeah. And the time of the people and the
Yes.
effort. And actually, one of the things which we actually like was thought about, okay, guys, we should integrate it with the application in the first place, right?
Mm.
So why we didn't do that? Why we didn't go in this path in the first place? Why we went to the WhatsApp? So the compliances, it just, it would like mandate you to work in certain ways. Don't put future risk just for as to start as a beginning, except if you have a clearance, from the top level or the top management to go through to do so. So this is something that you have to be very considerable. Just don't walk alone as a management and as a team in a compliance or non, let's say in non-compliance architecture, without making sure uh, like that you are totally, like
Under the
have that
regulation.
such color. Yeah. Also, like you have in Gulf, especially if you, let's say that you are an engineer working in Gulf,
Mm-hmm.
whatever your national or your mindset, you have to think how they think there. So most of Gulf, they think the data should be resilient, should be in Gulf, it should be there. It should be inside. Actually, the best thing is to be inside the data center, their own data center, if they
Yeah.
have it. If it's not the data center, it should be inside, the country. If it is inside the country, at least inside the Gulf.
Mm.
That's how it works. So especially the data and the information of the users. The application shouldn't, or any application anyone is deploying for Saudi Arabia, for Emirates, for Bahrain, Qatar, or whatever, you should deploy it within the region. Make sure that you are deploying within the region, because sometimes maybe organizations, just miss see what's deployed. They're focusing on
Mm.
the
Yeah.
on the product and not focusing on what is and where is deployed or what regulations sometimes, unfortunately. So you might make a very huge mistake to deploy it in Europe or America or whatever place that might have a future, let's say, like implications that would just may stop this applications that you are working on, or like push it to audit to this kind of. So where is the data? It's very important to be considered. Where
Correct.
is the application? It be very well considered.
Mm.
Don't just, push it somewhere for easier or a better SaaS services.
Yes. Right. Okay. All right. So now, Ali, we will talk bit about IBM watsonx and OpenShift for AI. So, from your experience with both of them, what do enterprises usually estimate when they are adopting the AI platforms in terms of both IBM watsonx and OpenShift?
Yeah. So it underestimate what Watson X orchestrate or Watson X, .ai could do, and
Mhm.
what is the actual data science projects it's actually, like working, like the classical machine learning, let's say, part which the data science teams is working on in the enterprise.
Yeah.
So what is the actually the like the target from having Watson X.ai or orchestrate with an organization than having, OpenShift for AI. So what's on X and Orchestrate they have only like a few functions
Hmm.
to make fast deployments for applications, which have a constraints. You cannot just, just publish it and just that's it. It would work with any organization, with anyone, like dynamically fit with anyone. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. It's so if you're using something like Watson Orchestrate, your mentality is to create, like,
Hmm.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
Like your mentality is to create an application, like which would be fast deployment to the customers or making a POC, or let's say you can do whatever, like a constrained environment, or let's say a constrained use case, which will be delivered to the customer at that point, or to the business. But if you have a classical machine learning, that you are a team, have data scientists, machine learners, data engineers, data stewards, and the full, hierarchy. So you will need a full machine learning pipeline, which will help you, let's say, with raw Python, giving much more capabilities, giving much more libraries. So in this case, you will use OpenShift for AI. So what is the difference between watsonx, okay, and watsonx.ai, Watson Orchestrate, and OpenShift for AI?
OpenShift.
So first, let's start with yeah. So the first thing we will talk about, it will be the fingerprint and the hardware requirements. In watsonx and the Orchestrate, be very huge.
Hmm.
The expectation of deploying one instance on one service, it required a lot of license. It would require a lot of like effort. It would require that the application that you are really like want to provide to the customers, it have a lot of changes. You must know the constraints of this application, whether it's a chatbot or a normal LLM or RAG use case or whatever, like that you are working on.
Right.
It have constraints in the libraries. It have constraints in the deployments. It have a lot of constraints. You're not that, that like you can just push it, to production and just, forget about it. That won't work.
Hmm.
Okay. But it's easy to deploy, easy to develop, business oriented. Anyone can use it. That's the more difference. Anyone have like a training, like let's say material, or take a training with IBM, can just use it. Like literally. I don't think you should even have a degree.
Yes.
That's how easy it is.
Okay.
But
All
for
right.
OpenShift for AI, yeah,
Yeah.
so sorry, last thing for OpenShift for AI. So it's raw. It have a very low fingerprint on the hardware and from
Okay.
license perspective, and it can be utilized anywhere, but you have to have a very like large team, technical team, and you should have an expertise in this field, in OpenShift and Kubernetes, to be able to utilize it well.
Hmm. Right.
So it will give you the flexibility, it give you like the freedom of deployment. You will have models that you can deploy for hundreds, millions of users. But you will build everything on your own.
Correct.
So
And I think
it's
OpenShift
not
is something that need a lots of training and lots of expertise when we are working with OpenShift AI, right? This is how we will conclude it.
correct.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right. So yeah, although like we have so many things to discuss here with AI, and I think AI is the topic where we can talk on for a very long time.
Yeah.
So just before we bind up the discussion, I want to take few question, and that is related to your support system, because in everyone's life there is a support system. So throughout your journey, who were the key people around you who have helped you in your journey or who have inspired you throughout your journey?
So the first one who introduced me, actually, it was maybe she don't remember, but actually I remember this very well. Like Christopher Bright, Asma Ibrahim, Ahmad Karam, you know, also like Ahmad Kamil, Abdul Salam Kamil. Also those those who I like worked with them in my career, during my career, and they contributed a lot actually in the journey. And also I was also worked with like Ahmed Ibrahim, like also like from Alexandria. So I worked with him also. He was a good mentor and good manager actually also. Hussam Abdul Azim. Uh, Also, I recall Samh. Uh, Also, I recall um, Muhammad Ali Gaber. Uh, and yeah, and lately even here in US, Vish Nathan. Also, there like actually there is a lot of contributed. I don't want to forget anyone. I don't, even also like there's Serini. Like also I worked with him like in Saudi telecom chat like communication. Um, yeah,
Okay.
those those mainly the ones which I like remember and recall.
Okay, it's good to know
I
about
couldn't
the
like
person.
I'm very sorry to anyone that I forgot, but like every and each step, يعني
Yeah,
everyone had contributed a part, and even like directly or indirectly. Yeah, of
correct.
course.
Right. I'm also agree with this because when we are working with like every day, like we learn something new from someone. So there are so many person who really helped us in our journey. But it's good to know about them and to give them a shout out when we are doing a discussion like this. Okay. So, just one more thing I want to ask you, Ali, before we conclude this discussion, and this is related to the place you belong from, Egypt. So, if you would like to share one piece of one thing about Egypt that you wanted to share with the rest of the world about your country, that one thing which is close to your heart, then what would it be about the Egypt?
Yeah, so Egypt have a lot of diversity. No one would just think about. It have a lot of like civilizations which has passed through us.
Yeah.
We have a lot of monuments everywhere.
Yes.
It have a lot of diversity. We have a very good food. Like a mix between Mediterranean and Middle East. So it's a
Mm.
very special mix you won't find anywhere. Uh, so lately, there was like the Grand Museum opening, which was like, something of the wonders. Like you should check it out. It
Yeah.
have like a lot of monuments. It's a very well like suited place to discover and know more about, the civilizations that we had before. Also, just check the tech that like the pharaohs had. So it's very controversial now. So
Yeah, okay. So there are so many things that anyone can explore in Egypt. So I think this could be a next destination
yeah,
for all travelers.
yeah, it's a very cool place. You will like it, even if you want, just to like just hang out in a beach.
Yeah.
You will have it. You want to hang out, just visiting places. You will find it there. If you want, a city which never sleeps, which it doesn't
It is
really.
also there.
So yeah, so like so everything, it's open till the dawn. It never closes. You will always have life. Egyptian people are very friendly.
Yes.
As a tourist, you won't feel any kind of like you will never feel unsafe. Even
Mm.
in the crowded places or whatever, you won't feel unsafe. Uh, you will have respect. You will have as long as like that you want to explore, and want to check out places, you will find things always, hidden gems.
Okay.
You
All right. So, yep. Thank you so much, Ali, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much insightful information about AI and your work experience. It was pleasure to talk to you here. So, thank you once again.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. Pleasure.